Well, from where I'm sitting, it looks truly incredible. And I have to say, you guys are absolutely inspirational. I can see you working really hard. But the fact that you're doing it as a family is something that I've got a lot of respect for, because when you get really comfortable, you start struggling with the small things. And that's when I sit back and I realize, hold on a second, I've moved countries twice. We've sold everything we had twice. We've been on the brink of, I want to say, starvation. We've had it tough at one stage. So whatever is troubling us now is totally insignificant in comparison with what we've been through. And if I put that in context of what you guys have been through, it doesn't even compare. Not at all. So well done. Well done.
I can tell you, this ceremony, I've been through the ceremony in England. This ceremony, I had to swallow back not to start crying. That was so emotional to stand there and say the oath. It was, I think this 8 years was, it was hard. You know, once you have your green card, you just live, but everything you go through, and now you're American, I had to really...
Deserve it. You deserve it. You can believe that. Now, Walter sent me some videos. I'm assuming there's photos. I'm assuming there's a video in there. I'm going to get that onto this interview as well, so people can just start celebrating with you, because honestly, it's such a great achievement. Walter and Maxie Jackson. Is Maxie short for something?
Yes, Magdalene.
I was thinking Maximilian, but it's always a joy, Walter, speaking to you. And I always end the call with a good laugh. And as I'm rewatching the older videos, I find myself laughing at again and spotting a few jokes that you actually made that I didn't even pick up during the interview. So I'm really looking forward to this chat. Now, before we start, let's just give the broader audience the summary in 2 lines quickly. You are celebrating 2 things today. What are they?
Maybe 3, because it's our wedding anniversary as well.
That was one of the second things. Is either celebrating or you're mourning it.
Yeah. We're doing both.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating, my wife is mourning, but and also we got our US citizenship now after nearly 8 years in the country.
Wow, now that's a massive accomplishment. What's the third thing?
Yeah, what is the third thing?
Oh no, I forgot. We're healthy.
Your new house.
Maybe it was only 2.
Your new house. That'll be your third thing. Your new house.
Oh yes. The new house, which is chaos at the moment.
Yeah.
Don't remodel your house while you're trying to do interviews online. It's just so noisy.
Yeah. No, well, they just left. You said, yeah. It's bittersweet though, because you had this, and stop me if I'm touching on any sore points here, but you had this vision and you had this dream of living up in the mountains and the woods, and you bought those properties to develop it into something special. And you were just hit with one disaster after the other disaster. I mean, 2024 was probably not your year.
I mean, you got to have the lows so you enjoy the highs. And, you know, that's why Jesus gave us medicine and alcohol to deal with these problems, you know. You don't have to go through it sober. But, I mean, Hurricane Helene hit the town we lived in pretty hard. So that's why we moved down the mountain now, and we bought this house. First time we bought a house in the US. So it's now that we get, you know, we got citizenship, now we can commit. So this is going to be our house and our country for the foreseeable future. Because we have immigrated before. We lived in England, and we went through the citizenship process there as well. Also, it took us roughly about the same amount of time to fill in all the forms to get citizenship there. It was just under 8 years, seven something. The process there is slightly different to the US. There you stay for a long time, and then you get permanent residence. So it was like 5 years, 6 years we had to stay on various visas. I think it was back then like a tier 1. We were on work permits, then an HSMP, a tier 1. It changed. So when we eventually got permanent residence, then you wait a year and then you can apply for citizenship. So we went through all that process and then decided, no, we're going to leave. We came to the US.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
we
Maxie applied for that.
went back to South Africa first.
Yeah.
So you went back to
And
South
then,
Africa from the UK, is that right?
yes.
Yeah, 4 years, 5 years in South Africa.
Yes.
And then
And then we
Roy Mira and we had to go again.
All right, so I want to unpack that a little bit. So permanent residence in the UK, for those of you that's correcting Walter, is called leave to remain. Slightly different wording, but same difference. Now, my wife and I actually almost did the same thing. So we went to the UK and we stayed there we had a 3-year work term and we could renew, but then we decided not to because cost involved of renewing a 3-year term means you have to live that out, do another 2 years or something only to apply for citizenship. And I thought, no, that's not, it's just financially, it didn't make sense. And the weather sucks. So we decided, well, let's probably go back to South Africa. And I actually got a job offer online, which I took, and I started working for this company remotely before we were due to actually go. And then we decided, screw all of that. Let's just go to Australia. Now, sorry, that's just putting it in perspective. We almost went the same route. What made you decide, though, to actually go back to South Africa, not just talk about it? You went for 5 years and then suddenly you're like, what happened?
Well, I mean, we missed
The
home, we missed the family. How old were the kids?
I got a job there, and we went back there, and also the children. I don't know. We missed the family, missed the friends, so we decided to go back.
And they were 4 and 2, I think, so they were born in England. We waited till we got British citizenship, and then we thought that's a great time to pack up and go home and maybe settle there permanently. But we love to travel, and I don't think we'll ever stay any place forever,
My company offered me a position, well, first England, and I said no, don't want to go back to England. And then I think about 6 months later, they said there's a position open in America. And
yeah, we like the US. We traveled here a few times.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we took the opportunity, but it was difficult initially. And I mean, we've got to talk about the naturalization process in a bit more detail, but just the build up to that was an L1B visa initially for Max.
That was what the company applied for me.
It's an intercompany transfer visa.
Yeah.
And I think that was for 2 years. 2.
Yeah, no, maybe 3, but then you can extend it for another 2.
Yeah, I think it's either initially 2 years and you can extend it for 3, or it was 3 years and you can extend it for, no, I think it was 2 because we extended it. And then we got the green cards, but we had to apply for the green cards independently. The green cards. Okay, so we got green cards through your skills.
And was my first visa was getting to the end, and we had to extend it. But in the meantime, we started applying for the green card. So I thought, okay, let's do this green card. Let's apply for the green card. But then I also told the company, have the application ready if we don't get the green card, so you can extend my visa. But went well. I had to go back to South Africa for the interview. And
yeah. It's important for people to realize when you come to the US, there's kind of 2 different things. You have your visa process, which allows you to be here, and that may or may not lead to a green card, but the green card application is separate. We had to apply for the green card separately, independently from the company, because we didn't want to be stuck with that same company then for 5 years. You kind of they sponsor you. So we just applied basically for a highly skilled visa. Yeah. So I did all the forms for that in the UK on my name. So it was Maxie's turn to do it this time.
My turn. It just worked
out. Well, I'll do the next one when we go to Australia and we start again, over again.
The immigration
Imagine.
lawyer looked at both and they said it might just be easier for me to apply. So we done it through my work. Yeah.
And then it kind of,
my skills.
And then all the stress is gone basically for the next 5 years. Because you're a permanent resident, you kind of have all the benefits, most of the benefits that a citizen has, much better than it was in England, where you're still seen as a tourist, basically, until you get that indefinite leave to remain that you kind of mentioned. Where in the US with a green card, you can do all the stuff that the locals do apart from vote. There's a few benefits that doesn't come your way in terms of state benefits and federal benefits, but for the most part, you're seen as a permanent resident. You're part of the society. And yeah, a lot of people choose to stay on a green card the rest of their life and never take citizenship.
What about schooling and studying and that for the kids? Do you still get those benefits as well on a green card, or do you need actual citizenship?
You do. There are a few federal programs you can't apply for. But the kids are still young enough that it wasn't an issue, right? So we decided in any case to go down the route of naturalization. So basically what that means is when you're 4 years and 9 months after the date of your permanent residence card, your green card, you can apply and you do an N400 form. Now, I would advise anybody listening to this, do it yourself. You don't need a lawyer. It's really just a formality. You fill in the forms, the N400. They just want to make sure that you're legally here, that you're in good standing, that you're not committing crimes or bringing all kinds of violence. It's all these questions about your moral character more than anything else.
Quick, wasn't. And then you pay a fee and that's it.
Yeah, so forgot what the fee is. Google will tell you that. But basically the process is, you apply.
Every year, so yeah.
Yeah, you apply for this in 400 form. And actually ours came back so quick, the interview date. So the initial step is just biometrics. You go down to the office, they send you a letter in the mail. You go down to the office, they take a picture, they take your fingerprints, and they send you back home. That's it.
Well, yes, but the night before, Walter said, we read somewhere that they might let us do the test.
Yeah, some centers could do the test the same day, but
11 at night. So I got up and started studying.
Yeah, it was a fun practical joke. I laughed all the way there, but they could do us both on the same day, like the biometrics. Then for some reason, when you do the civics test, then that's a different appointment a few weeks later, and they didn't want to see us. They couldn't see us on the same day, so we had to drive down the mountain for 2 hours to Charlotte.
2 days apart, yes.
2 days apart, and basically that civics test is 100 questions and answers you've got to learn, right? Fairly simple. Much of it is common knowledge. I'd say at least half of it you would know, just what ocean is on the eastern coast, what ocean is on the west coast, longest river. It's
what ocean is on the it's the Pacific.
Atlantic and Pacific. I mean, there's only 3 oceans really that when it comes to America, it's just the Atlantic and the Pacific. So it's simple questions. They only ask you 10. You have to get 6 out of 10. So if you get the first 6 right, they just stop.
Wow.
The questions is easy.
Well, some of it, like I said, half of it's common knowledge. You have to study some of it. For instance,
your region's House of Representatives.
I didn't
know this stuff. I had to Google it.
Most adults know who their senators are in their state and who their congressmen are, right? And who the president is.
Well, that I knew.
About 10 of the answers or questions, the answer is the president.
How you said so it took you 8 years living there, and then you were in 4 years and 9 months when you started the process, or when you could have started the process.
When you can. So the date that you get your green card, your permanent residence, there's a date on there when it starts.
Yeah.
And normally the green card is valid, I think, for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Ours were valid for 10 years.
Yeah.
So from that date, 4 years and 9 months. So they let you start the application basically 3 months early before your 5 years.
Yeah.
To give you time to kind of apply. Now, that process, this whole process, the biometrics, the first appointment, the second appointment, which is just a civics test and a few other questions, and do you have children and that type of stuff. That was the second interview. All of that happened so quickly that they couldn't even get us our citizenship appointment straight away because it was still in that 3 months.
Yeah.
And you have to be in the country for at least 5 years on a permanent resident on that green card before you get citizen.
Say I passed, but he cannot approve my application until we pass the 5-year mark.
Yeah.
So we had to wait.
And that was in December. So we applied in September. October, we had our biometrics. Later, in November, we had our civics tests. And they said, well, now it's so close to Christmas, you're going to just do your citizenship in January. So it was fairly quick.
It was so quick.
And fairly easy to just apply yourself. No immigrant lawyer needed. Where with the green cards and all that stuff, we got an immigrant lawyer. You have to get somebody to help you because it was like 400 pages, the application.
Yeah, there's no
that was chaos.
And in the mix of all of us, you were still also doing your degree, weren't you?
Yeah, but we're suckers for punishment. Love to keep busy and move house. And in the storm still, where that Hurricane Helene destroyed everything, like I told you. No power or water for a month. So, it was a busy time.
Yeah, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You need to throw a heart attack in there as well in the mix of things, just so people know what was going on. Plus, you had some black bag disease.
I'm assuming people just know you will have a heart attack, mentioning the other stuff that we went through. Of course, you're going to have a heart attack.
You're a public figure. And then what happened at the Rotary Club volunteering that you've also, you didn't just volunteer, you ran it, and you picked up something there as well in the mix of all of this that was going on. Citizenship.
Yeah, because
a doctor's degree, and not a medical doctor. You'll die. Don't let Walter touch you. It's a business. And what is
YouTube for everything now?
Yeah,
heart surgery.
But yeah, we volunteered at one of the centers after the storm for about a month, and then some disease broke out because people send their old clothes in moldy bags, and we're opening this stuff, trying to sort through it, and 3 of us just got terribly sick and ended up in hospital. But I mean, it's all part of the fun, you can't go through a disaster without ending up in hospital. But yeah, I mean, we're all through that now. And I think there's a lot of calm that now comes from becoming citizens. Nobody can kick us out the country.
Yes, wait there for a second. Now, I was going to touch on this. Walter and Maxie. Maxie's always looked great, but Walter, you look younger, you look calm, you're shining. I don't know, but yeah, you look much younger. I mean, the last time we spoke when things were really tough, you were driving up and down the mountain. We like FaceTiming out of a hotel room or whatever. I was worried because I thought, this guy looks old. Like I'm stressed for him.
It was stressful, I have to say, because we had to leave the area. There was no roads down the mountain, so we had to get no GPS or internet, so we had to get a way out. And then the government approved us, FEMA approved us to live in a hotel, the 4 of us, and our dog Lucy, to live in a hotel, and they approved us for 2 months. And Walter's been on the phone for 2 days, couldn't find us because the hotels were full with all the disaster area people. So we had to go back.
your house.
up the
Yeah.
mountain and live there and just ride it out, I guess. And we've done it.
Yeah, I remember I saw that when we made the video about it, you guys were like boiling water and the potjies pot and yeah,
Yeah.
people hosing each
Filtering
other also often
water.
like
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine when they go nuts when there's like a 12 to 14-foot storm surge in Florida?
yeah,
That's when the hurricane kind of pushes all the water in the circular effect. Uh, it will push that water inland and it'll surge by 12 to 15 foot if it's a bad one. Because of where our towns sit in the mountains and the kind of the slope of the mountain and the amount of water that fell, the hurricane just got stuck there and just dumped this water. And we had quite a bit of rain the previous few days, but then when it got stuck there, it dumped 2 feet of rain in one morning, and our river surged by over 30 feet.
I saw the video.
So, I mean,
It's crazy.
now you're talking above several story buildings, waves just come down. So it took out everything. And we must have had 1,000 trees down just in our neighborhood because it is up in the mountains. It's rural. It is very foresty. It's a rainforest. So the kind of the earth is moist most of the time. There's a lot of rain up there, but something like this has never happened on record. So thousands of trees down. So yeah, I mean, we still in this mess had to go down and go do biometrics down in Charlotte, find a way to get down. And
the test was after the storm.
Yeah.
So we had to, actually, it was 3 hours drive because we had to take a back road
the long way around, yeah.
to get out.
Because I mean, literally, the roads, the mudslides took out the roads. And if you live up a mountain and you go down a mountain pass and the road's gone, there's not 1,000 backup plans when you're on flat land, right? There's 3 roads down the mountain and all 3 were washed away. So you're trying to make these appointments. Luckily, the USCIS and everybody understood that this is a proper disaster area.
Yeah.
So we're not just making excuses.
And I understand the government now released funds from elsewhere now, pretty late, but still to assist further in North Carolina. But I start panicking when I'm running 10 minutes late for work. And then everything in my head starts falling apart because I love being early. I love being on time. If I'm not, my whole day feels like it's going down the drain. I can't even imagine how you guys had to carry all those different aspects at the same time. And then I always ask the same questions. How was the kids? How did they cope while they saw the load that you guys were busy carrying?
The kids were amazing. I mean, they're African boys, you know.
Yeah.
We told them, there's buckets, go get water at the lake, because we used to live on the lake. So go get water at the lake, but the lake was so dirty, with all this rubbish that flew into the lake, that we couldn't really use the water. And then my Freddie, the oldest, he came back with a bucket of clean water, and we all cheered and high five.
Yeah, where did you get that?
So there was a spring running past.
Yeah, a little creek the other way, yeah.
On the other side. So, and then afterwards they took the golf car to bring the buckets back because it was too far to carry. But I mean, the little joy we had from getting clean water from a spring. But they were amazing. They were just,
but, I mean,
they volunteered with Walter. I think it was
they worked
weeks.
for
They
6
went
weeks.
and give packages out and whatever they can do to help.
Yeah, because the school was shut for over 2 months because the high school was used as a field hospital with a Red Cross. A lot of people injured. A few people died in our town from the river coming down and the mudslide. So the middle school and the elementary school where I worked, that was used as the distribution centers, as the military and FEMA and everybody was bringing in all these supplies.
Guard was there.
Yeah.
Now
It was amazing to see, though.
Yeah.
You can be so proud. And now, because of all of that, you were forced to move from where you were in Spruce Pines down to Charlotte. and they had to now not just change schools, but say goodbye to friends and basically start over again. Is it tough on them at the moment, or they just rolling with it? Like you guys have probably taught them
They,
traveling the
I
world.
don't think it was that tough for them. They were wildly unpopular. So I don't think they had friends to leave behind.
oh, and I think they're used to our unconventional life. I mean,
Yeah.
living in an RV for 2 years, and
Yeah.
that
helped a lot.
they
They had to make friends every week and then say goodbye to friends every
every
week
week.
or every 3 weeks. Like, goodbye, we're going to the next place. We'll never see you again. Unlucky.
Yeah, and they settled in now. I mean, their house is a mess at the moment with all the renovation. And I asked the boys the other day, is this the worst living conditions you've ever had in your life? And Freddie said, no, remember the storm? We didn't have internet to play games.
Or water, or
No, but that was his reason. There was no internet to play games. That was worse. Didn't care about the water and
Yeah,
electricity.
they
I mean,
don't
when
care about
you,
food or water or
No,
medical aid. If you can't play his game, it's
yeah, the worst living conditions.
I mean, if it's okay once in a while to do a felty, but when that's your life for a month,
yeah.
you start to get your favorite leaves, then it becomes a problem. Then you've been trapping in the woods too long when you start to find your favorite leaves, do you?
Yeah. Oh, I love that branch. Well, from where I'm sitting, it looks truly incredible. And I have to say, you guys are absolutely inspirational. I can see you working really hard, but the fact that you're doing it as a family is something that I've got a lot of respect for because when you get really comfortable, you start struggling with the small things. And that's when I sit back and I realize, hold on a second, I've moved countries twice. We've sold everything we had twice. We've been on the brink of I want to say starvation. We've had it tough at one stage. So whatever is troubling us now is totally insignificant in comparison with what we've been through. And if I put that in context of what you guys have been through, it doesn't even compare. Not at all. So well done. Well done.
I can tell you, this ceremony, I've been through the ceremony in England. This ceremony, I had to swallow back not to start crying. That was so emotional to stand there and say the oath. It was, I think this 8 years was, it was hard. Once you have your green card, you just live, but everything you go through, and now you're American, I had to really,
Deserve it. You deserve it. You can believe that. Now, Walter sent me some videos. I'm assuming there's photos. I'm assuming there's a video in there. I'm going to get that onto this interview as well, so people can just start celebrating with you because honestly, it's such a great achievement. Any outgoing thoughts you want to share with the Oorsee audience that is looking at the same dream? Obviously, don't go and think. Oh, apologies, I've got notifications popping in. I'll just say do not disturb. Obviously, they don't have to go through all the storms physically and
no.
that you guys have been through, but any advice that can help them on the way?
Well, I think I just think anyone can do this. Anyone can. I mean, there's a tick list. To get a green card, there's some tick boxes. You just need to tick all the boxes. And I mean, half of the boxes I didn't tick, and then I made sure I got them ticked. Do some training, do some get certified. I don't know. You just do make sure you get all the tick boxes down to get your green card, and then after that, then it's just what the process. Then you
Yeah.
just follow the process.
Just start. I mean,
That's it.
when I was speaking to my wife after the ceremony last week, right? I said to her, remember that we discussed moving to the US and becoming citizens 15 years ago while we were still busy becoming British citizens, right? We're like, oh, what are we going to do after this? Want to go live in America? Yeah, let's do that. And the seed was planted and we kind of had the idea. And while we were in South Africa, we applied. So the application process really started like 10 years ago, right? Just to get to the US. Time flies, whether you do stuff or not, time is going to catch you, right? And we are, as I am frequently told by anybody that knows me, not special in any way, right? So if we can do it, everybody can do it,
Oh,
right? And most people can do it better.
very special.
And quicker, maybe.
And quicker. So just start the process,
Do it.
you know?
Yeah, it is stressful. It costs money, but
We're planning.
I don't know. I don't regret anything.
Yeah, but if you find a pharmacist with dodgy morals, you can get through anything. So
My word.
just take the pills and you'll be calm. You'll be fine.
Thank you so much for setting aside your evening. And first of all, happy anniversary. You guys
Thank you.
team like no other. I've never seen it before. I know great people. I know great couples, wonderful couples with amazing stories of their own. But wow, this is worth a novel in its own. And congratulations on your citizenship and your lovely new house.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. All the best. Always good talking to you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.